Hello and welcome to this edition of Reporters, the programme that brings you the very best stories from our correspondents around the world. This week we're taking a trip to the Emerald Triangle in California, the three biggest marijuana growing counties in the USA. Back in November the 2nd's midterm elections, Californians rejected Proposition 19. That would have effectively legalised growing and selling marijuana there. Nonetheless, the Golden State's long had a distinctly pro-green attitude. It made the first move towards legalising marijuana back in 1996, allowing it to be sold from cooperative dispensaries. But not everyone in California is happy for the state's pot gardens to flourish. Our reporters have been out on a patrol with officers from the Campaign Against Marijuana Planting. Here's what they found out.
It's a scene that is reminiscent of those you see in war zones. But this is California, and the enemies are marijuana growers. This is the Emerald Triangle, the three biggest marijuana-producing counties in the United States. From their helicopter, members of a task force called the Campaign Against Marijuana Planting, or CAMP, have located a new plot of marijuana plants.
And from the air you can see the black tubing lines down there where they're running it into a water source, and then you've got the plants. Usually pick them out pretty easy. It's a different kind of green. Emerald green. When the sun shines on it, it's really bright.
These marijuana gardens are illegal and growers can face 5 years in prison.
They hide all the plants underneath the chemise so that you can't see it on the overfly.
Once on the ground, Ryan Pontecorvo spearheads the manhunt in search of those who harvest the plants.
Are they usually armed?
Yeah. Usually. They always want to protect their grows. We always find ammunition in the grows, shotguns, handguns.
Pontecorvo and his colleagues spot a tent and approach carefully. One of the marijuana growers could be hiding inside. The operation is extremely dangerous and guns could go off at any time.
You never know if they're in there. Already this year there's been a shooting from a tent. The crew came up on the tent. The guy saw him on the tent, started firing at the officers with AK-47, hit one of the officers in the arm, put him down. Unfortunately for the bad guy, the officers returned fire on him in a tent, and there's not much protection from bullets in a tent, and he was killed to stop his aggressive action towards the officers walking in.
Today, the men fled the scene in time, but their camp is intact, giving Pontecorvo a chance to pick up some clues.
Cooking area over here, and their sleeping quarters over here. There was at least 2 growers, 2 sleeping bags. They put the camouflage tarp up so that we won't be able to see where the camp's at, on overflights. Typically these growers are living out here 4 or 5 months, and they just have people drop food every few weeks off to them. But they stay up here and they tend the garden, build the garden, make it bigger, better. But they live up here 4 or 5 months out of the grow season. You got little comic books in Spanish. Another good indicator that it's Hispanics in this grow.
In 2010, 75% of those arrested in Northern California for growing pot were Mexican citizens working for drug cartels. Just below the camp, Pontecorvo and his team find a sophisticated garden.
The black water line you see here, the main feeder tube, goes all the way down the ravine, probably, a mile to a pond. And they're pumping that water all the way back up here with feeder lines that go to each plant. And then they're feeding the water. So there's a lot of work involved in it. They had to clear all this brush out so that the plants can get the sunlight. And then they wait. They plant them and they wait, and it's a 90-day cycle.
The team destroys the plants one by one. At the end of the day, Pontecorvo calculates the final tally from the harvest.
5,622 plants. We'll go the low end on 2,000 per plant pound at maturity. So the total yield street wholesale yield would be $11,244,000
Just for one day?
for this one-day operation.
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty good today. Growing marijuana is a cash business. For a small investment, like the one grow we went into was, $5,000 could set up that grow and get it going. And if you're able to bring it to harvest, and there was 233 plants in there, they're going to make $466,000 off a $5,000 investment. That's better than the stock market right now, so that's why they do it.
Marijuana is California's largest cash crop, worth about $14 billion. And that is why, during midterm elections, a proposition was submitted to voters that would have legalized and taxed the drug. But on November 2nd, Californians rejected this proposition. Although still illegal, marijuana is extremely easy to obtain in city streets. It's 10 p.m. in Los Angeles, and Bong Rip's day is barely starting.
Cheers.
Despite the outcome of the election, he remains hopeful that marijuana will be legalized someday. In fact, Bong Rip is even a member of an organized underground movement called the Stoner Army.
Together, we're going to make a difference in fighting for the legalization of marijuana worldwide. We hate to see people getting busted for a plant.
Which is 8 ounces.
Armed with a laptop and a webcam, Bong Rip cruises the streets of Hollywood every night in a limousine.
I think it might be a month.
From there, he conducts a live web TV show called Bong TV. The theme, marijuana 24/7.
You're in my limousine, we're cruising Hollywood Boulevard. Are you having a good time? Or what? Please, everybody, give me a 420 in the chat room now. Throw a 420 in the chat room. Let me know that you're having a good time. You can smoke marijuana if you have a medical marijuana slip. If you're legal to smoke marijuana, you can smoke marijuana. We've been pulled over by the police before, and they let us go.
And where's your prescription?
I have my prescription. It's in a book. It's hidden away. It's hidden away. Off the camera. I have to get it renewed. So, I might not be 100% legal right now.
Tonight, Bong Rip takes his audience to a marijuana dispensary.
Here we go.
New Jersey weed man in the house.
What's happening, Stoner Army?
Stoner Army, how's everything doing here?
Legal since 1996 in California, medical marijuana can be purchased here. Prescriptions are easy to obtain, and patients' ailments can range from insomnia to anxiety to chronic pain.
Doesn't look too bad.
But Liberty Bell isn't quite your typical pharmacy. Here, you must first pass a security checkpoint and show your prescription before getting access to a smoking lounge and gourmet treats.
Look how gourmet, everything is very gourmet.
This weed paradise is even featured in a music video along with its owner, Weed Man.
I think the war on drugs, the government's prohibition on drugs causes more crime and more problems than anything. Doing it this way, like I'm from New Jersey, but I live in California now for the last 2 years, and part of the reason was because it's easier to do it, it's better to do it. The exact same thing I've done in New Jersey, providing marijuana to people, because that's what it is. People want it. I don't care what the government says. People want it and they're going to get it. So, but in New Jersey, by providing marijuana, I was a criminal. And I got arrested a few times in New Jersey. People have to hide and duck and hide. Here in California, because they have the right laws, you can do this.
But with 966 registered medical marijuana dispensaries in Los Angeles, Weed Man faces tough competition. 3 to 4 nights a week, he takes to the streets to promote his business in his Weedmobile. Not only does Weed Man make rounds outside nightclubs with flyers, he also entices potential new customers with free samples.
This is my sample bag.
No prescription necessary.
There you go.
You want a joint?
We good.
You're a joint.
Okay, give me one, baby.
Oh, you got one too, girlfriend.
Thank you. Hey. Thank you.
All right, come to the party.
Come to the party.
Los Angeles has become the Amsterdam of America. The police have made marijuana one of their lowest priorities. There's There's a lot of other things out here they can be worried about. Marijuana is not harmful, it doesn't hurt people, things like that. So it's been deprioritized. So I'm taking advantage of that.
Deprioritized, but not forgotten. Shortly after this interview, police officers raided the Liberty Bell, seized $17,000 worth of marijuana and cash in the safe, and arrested Weedman for failing to comply with a city ordinance. One thing is certain, in California, the fight to legalize marijuana is far from over.
Well, that's it for this edition of Reporters. You can watch this story and all our other reports again on our website, france24.com. That's france24.com. Till next time, bye for now.